Throughout the Nintendo Switch 2, or should we say the 10 months of the Nintendo Switch 2, there hasn't been one game that has been super criticized than this game right here, or should we say Mario Kart World. Now Mario Kart World definitely has a lot of good things, a lot of great qualities that has improved over Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But really when it comes to it is the lack of tracks, the lack of things to do in the open world, and a lot of other things. Does this mean that Nintendo is going to step in and bring us some DLC, or are they doing something a little bit different? The other day, we made a whole video on the brand new mode and what this could mean for Mario Kart World. And today, we're going to be breaking everything down, so please enjoy it. Let's get straight into it. So now, there's definitely a lot of things that I love about Mario Kart World. The fact that it's easy and simple to just jump in and play with pretty much everyone is definitely one of the greatest parts for me. The fact that you can just sit down, relax, have a great time, a jolly old time if you will, just playing the game is really great. But really when it comes to it, all the complaints are pretty much from the lack of tracks. Maybe it's because we were spoiled with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That game really had a staggering 96 tracks, which is honestly really crazy for a Mario Kart game. And then when we jumped over to Mario Kart World, we were wondering, where's all the tracks? Am I missing something? Is there going to be more? Is there something that's going to be happening in Mario Kart World? What in the world is going on? There's only one track that you really have to complete the entire Grand Prix to unlock later, which is of course Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road is really cool in a lot of different ways, but the game pretty much just gives you everything off the bat. And honestly, I think that is a little bit where it starts to fall. So if we're going to be getting some sort of DLC, is this going to be happening? Because recently, depending if Nintendo is going to follow through, it's either going to be one of two things. A booster course DLC like we had in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where it brought in a whole bunch of different courses. But since this game is open world, it's most likely just going to be like an island, that there's going to be different courses, so then if you don't own the DLC, you're not going to be super confused on why is there an island here. So it's most likely going to be something like that, because every single track is interchangeable from one place to the next place. Intermission tracks really separate all of these things. If you just wanted 3-lap races, you really have to make them like interconnected in some way. So that's probably where Nintendo, if we are going to be getting a DLC, they're going to take that into consideration. So what I really mean by that is, when you really think about it, Nintendo is most likely going to have one island and then another island and then another island. So there's going to be a lot of different islands. Let's just say that they give us pretty much double the tracks that we get. So instead of 32, we get 64 different tracks. Now I honestly think 64 tracks would be really cool. Most of them would probably be some remasters of older tracks. Like one that I really want to see is Coconut Mall. I honestly think that Coconut Mall is such a good track. It really brings the fun to be had with Mario Kart and allows you to elaborate in some of those things. But also potentially something like Daisy's Cruise Line or maybe other things. Now we definitely have some great tracks in Mario Kart World, don't get me wrong, like a remaster of like DK Hill and another thing. Like those tracks are really great, but also seeing a return of your fan favorite tracks would be even greater. We gotta admit that the music in Mario Kart World is absolutely amazing. They really have music for pretty much anything, and there even is a Mario Kart World sort of remix of Coconut Mall. So maybe this could lead into the idea of them eventually announcing or releasing that later. That would make sense. I honestly think that this is something that Nintendo actually could do, or is this just because, hey, Nintendo wanted to just bring this to us because the music's great? But overall, I'm getting ahead of myself. I honestly think that there's definitely a lot of things here. So the other day, I was talking about how Nintendo could be doing a free DLC for Mario Kart World, because if you look at it, they've been slowly updating that game, and right now the game is looking pretty good. But then that doesn't mean that it's at its full potential. If Nintendo wanted to, they could definitely easily, like when I say easily, they can easily charge for Mario Kart World DLC. But if they make it for free, imagine the impact on that game. That game, instead of being a lone sold compilation on the internet, I complain about this game, game is terrible, why are we paying $80 for a game? It could be a sunshine and rainbows type situation where you pretty much pay $80, okay, but then you continuously get updates. Like, you continuously get updates. So it's pretty much like a fee to pay in, like a fee at the amusement park. But then when you get to the amusement park, you can just go on one ride to the next ride to the next ride and have a great time. It's kind of like that if Nintendo's going to follow in that direction. Because if they do, then that means, sure, slower updates, but at least you're not paying, what, $40 or whatever. I'm sure there's probably some of you that are fine with paying the $40 or whatever it's going to be for the Mario Kart World DLC, but then there's others that are like, what's the point? The game's already like $80. You mean to tell me if it's a $40 DLC? Then I'm over here stuck paying $120 for the game, and don't get me started on Canada. We're already over here with $120 games. So if the game is $120, it's most likely going to be like the $180 after tax. Oh my goodness, that's an expensive game. But overall, the point being clear, the point being said, if Nintendo's going to do this, they could do it one in two ways. It's going to be some sort of DLC down the road, then I guess it's not as egregious, because if you looked at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, once again, they had all of those. But you gotta remember that that game came from the Wii U. So technically, Mario Kart World was being developed for the Nintendo Switch, and then they realized, wait a minute, this isn't gonna run. It's running at like 10 FPS, it's not working, I'm hitting a car, and I'm not moving. It's not working, the Switch isn't working, it's not as powerful. So then they moved it to the Switch 2, but originally that was supposed to be a Nintendo Switch 1 game. So imagine the Mario Kart game that you could have seen on Nintendo Switch 2. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So technically the Booster Course DLC was essentially that Mario Kart game inside of the Mario Kart game that we currently had, which was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So really, you can't just base off of that, hey, just because we got a Booster Course DLC doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be getting another Booster Course DLC. Of course, you could see that Course DLC. I'm in the one to believe that Nintendo is going to be doing something, but I think they're going to be doing it a little bit different than just, you know what, Nintendo Direct, DLC is coming in. I could be wrong, because look what they did with Donkey Kong Bonanza. That game got DLC. Pretty much every Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2 game has some sort of DLC. So I wouldn't put it too far past them to say, you know what, we're going to be giving you some DLC for this game. Because at the end of the day, they gotta make some money off of the games, even though the games might not be fully fleshed out. $80 per game, I don't know how I think about that. Anyways, there's definitely a lot here. Now, if we really looked at Mario Kart World, what are our complaints? So what are our major complaints? Now for me, the major complaint that needs to be fixed is honestly the tracks. That's it. I really don't care about that much. Maybe the open world, because it's an open world game and you're just driving around pretty much a barren wasteland of an open world. It's really, when you look at it, it's kind of like Metroid Prime 4 in some way. Like, it's kind of like Metroid Prime 4, where the open world for that game, it was like, alright, so I'm driving on my motorcycle, I'm going to the next island, I'm gotta keep going. Oh, wait, there's a crystal thing. Meow. Oh, alright, moving over. Meow. So, like, it's pretty much that. There's not really much to do, but I guess you get P-buns, which are pretty cool. You also get sort of little coin trials where you have to get on top of a building somehow, and you gotta use your noggin. You really gotta use it. So technically, I guess that works out. But the point is, they definitely could add things like prop hunt. I've been saying this for like 3 videos straight now. Prop hunt in Mario Kart World. Imagine how much fun there is to be had there. Because I'm just saying, this mode would be so great. And if like a Call of Duty game can admit prop hunt, or like Fortnite, for example. Yes, I know, but that's essentially, I believe, where it came from. But anyways, imagine that. Mario Kart World, all you would need to do is to get some anatomizer thingy and like, boop. And all of a sudden you touch something and boom, all of a sudden you're a bench. And moving over, then you're a cube. You're just a random cube. And then you can play some Mario Kart and you can just drive down, you know, drive down the road. And all of a sudden, ding! Like, essentially, you're going to be the bad guy here with the chain shop on the front of the car. Ding! Or it could be a coin. It could be a coin. Could sound like this. But the point is, that's what you could be seeing. So yeah, I definitely think that if we are going to be getting DLC, it's probably going to be something like this. But it's most likely going to be free. Unless Nintendo wants to make you pay. On that hand, Nintendo Direct 2026, I'm calling it April, the end of April. Could be June, but it's not going to be June. End of April, we're going to be seeing Nintendo Direct. Nintendo is going to say something for Mario Kart World. This could be free. This could be paid. Depending on how Nintendo really wants to do this. If it's free, I would be like, whoa! I'm putting my fist up in the air and I'm doing the boogie. You know what? I'll show you that boogie. You know, we do a little bit of this. And then we do a little bit of this. Yeah. We're doing the boogie. 15 FPS camera. Beat that. But if it's paid, I'd be like, okay, there better be something good, Nintendo. There better be something like a milky sandwich on the beach. No, sunglasses. Be something real good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Consider hit the like button. Maybe subscribing if you are new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel. Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. I got a funny story about you. If you like Pokemon, we got a completely other separate channel for that. For the Pokemon wins and waves, leaks and rumors. But then the main Pokemon stuff is going to stay on this channel. So like brand new old games come back. Random theories about the Pokemon games. Or maybe even a brand new Pokemon game. Who knows? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.